The Galactic Misunderstanding. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the Zalaxian Empire reigned supreme. For millennia, they had conquered and assimilated countless civilizations, their might unchallenged across the stars. At the helm of the Zalaxian war machine stood Grand Admiral Vexora, a veteran of 1,000 campaigns, her 6 eyes gleaming with the anticipation of yet another easy victory. The Zalaxian High Council chamber buzzed with excitement as Vexora presented her latest proposal. Holographic displays flickered to life, projecting an image of a blue and green planet spinning lazily in the void. Esteemed council members, Vexora's voice rang out, her tentacles rippling with confidence. I present to you our next conquest. Earth, 3rd planet of the Sol system. Murmurs of interest filled the chamber. One of the council members, a wizened Zalaxian named Zorn, leaned forward. Earth, isn't that the primitive world we've been observing? The one with no significant space presence? Vexora's mandibles clicked in what passed for a Zalaxian smile. Precisely, Counselor Zorn. Our long-range scans have confirmed that the humans possess no energy shields, no faster-than-light capabilities, and their most advanced weapons are crude projectiles and chemical explosives. They are ripe for the taking. Another council member, Xyra, raised a tentacle. But Grand Admiral, surely there must be a reason why no other spacefaring race has claimed this world. The Andromedans, the Nepturites, even the pacifistic Lyrians, they've all steered clear of the Sol system. Vexora's exoskeleton bristled slightly at the implied criticism. With all due respect, Counselor Xyra, those races lack our glorious empire's vision and courage. They see a primitive world and assume it's not worth the effort. But I see potential, billions of new subjects to serve our empire, vast resources to fuel our expansion, and a strategic position in an unexplored sector of the galaxy. The chamber fell silent as the council members considered Vexora's words. Finally, the High Counselor, a massive Zalaxian whose age was measured in centuries, spoke. Your argument is compelling, Grand Admiral, but caution is warranted. What do we truly know of these humans? Vexora gestured, and the holographic display changed, showing images of human cities, vehicles, and daily life. Observe, High Counselor. They spend most of their time engaging in frivolous activities. They argue amongst themselves over arbitrary borders and resources. Their global communication network is filled with pictures of small furry creatures they keep as companions. They are soft, divided, and utterly unprepared for the might of the Zalaxian Empire. The High Counselor's eyes narrowed, and yet they have survived on a planet that our probes indicate is teeming with potential threats. Extreme weather, geological instabilities, a diverse array of predators. Vexora waved a dismissive tentacle. Mere happenstance, High Counselor. They've simply been lucky enough to avoid extinction. But luck runs out. With your permission, I will lead our 17th Conquest Fleet to Earth and bring these humans into the loving embrace of our empire. The council chamber erupted into debate. Some were eager for new conquests, while others urged caution. Vexora stood impassively, confident in her assessment of Earth's weakness. After hours of deliberation, the High Counselor raised all 4 of his upper limbs for silence. Grand Admiral Vexora, your request is granted. You may take the 17th Conquest Fleet to Earth. However, he added, his voice growing stern, you will first send a small expeditionary force to gather more intelligence. We must be certain of victory before committing our full strength. Vexora bowed low, her tentacles coiling in respect. As you command, High Counselor. I assure you, this will be the easiest conquest in the history of our glorious empire. As the council chamber emptied, Counselor Xyra approached Vexora. Grand Admiral, a word of caution. There's an old saying among the starfaring races, beware the quiet worlds, for they often hide the greatest dangers. Vexora's exoskeleton vibrated with barely contained laughter. Counselor, I appreciate your concern, but it is misplaced. I have conquered worlds that make Earth look like a paradise. Whatever dangers this insignificant planet might hold, the Zalaxian Empire will crush them beneath our mighty heel. As Vexora strode away to prepare her expedition, Thyra watched her go, a sense of unease rippling through her tentacles. "I hope you're right, Grand Admiral," she whispered to herself. "For all our sakes." Aboard the Zalaxian dreadnought, Inevitable Victory, Vexora assembled her most trusted officers. The ship's strategic chamber was alive with holographic displays of Earth, its solar system, and the surrounding space. "Commander Zix," Vexora addressed her second-in-command, "you will lead the expeditionary force. Take 3 stealth cruisers and establish an observation post on the large satellite orbiting the target world. From there, you will conduct detailed scans and gather intelligence on their defenses, or lack thereof." Zix, a younger Zalaxian with a reputation for thoroughness, bobbed his eye stalks in acknowledgement. "It will be done, Grand Admiral. How long should we observe before initiating contact?" Vexora's mandibles clicked impatiently. "No more than one of their solar rotations. We don't need much time to confirm what we already know. These humans are defenseless. Once you've established that fact, send a message to their leaders. Offer them the chance to surrender peacefully and join our empire. It's a courtesy we extend to all our conquests, feudal though it may be." As the officers filed out to prepare for the mission, Vexora turned her attention back to the holographic display of Earth. Her 6 eyes gleamed with anticipation. Soon, this insignificant blue marble would be just another jewel in the crown of the Zalaxian Empire. And she, Grand Admiral Vexora, would go down in history as the one who brought these primitive humans to heel. Little did Vexora know that her certainty was about to be shaken to its very core. For on that defenseless planet below, humanity was far from the easy prey she imagined. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the galaxy forever, as the unstoppable force of the Zalaxian Empire prepared to meet the immovable object that was human determination and ingenuity. As the Zalaxian stealth cruisers slipped silently through the inky void towards Earth, the people of the blue planet went about their daily lives, blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama about to unfold. But in the coming days, humanity would face its greatest challenge and reveal to the galaxy why Earth had remained untouched for so long. The die was cast. The Zalaxians were coming, and Earth, in all its seeming vulnerability, awaited. First contact and revelations. Commander Zix peered through the observation dome of the cloaked Zalaxian outpost on Earth's moon, his 4 eye stalks swiveling to take in the blue-green orb hanging in the void. After a full Earth rotation of intense scanning and observation, he found himself more perplexed than ever. "Captain Lyrax," he called to his second-in-command, "compile our findings. I must report to Grand Admiral Vexora." As Lyrax worked, Zix pondered the contradictions they'd uncovered. Yes, the humans lacked energy shields and faster-than-light travel. Their weapons were, by Zalaxian standards, primitive. And yet, the holographic form of Grand Admiral Vexora materialized in the command center. "Commander Zix, report. I trust you're ready to initiate contact with these primitives." Zix's tentacles writhed nervously. "Grand Admiral, our observations have yielded unexpected results. The humans are indeed less technologically advanced than us, but what, Commander?" Vexora's voice carried an edge of impatience. "They're remarkably adaptable and resilient. We've observed them thriving in environments ranging from scorching deserts to frozen tundras. Their cities teem with innovation, and their global information network, while primitive, is impressively comprehensive." Vexora's mandibles clicked dismissively. "Adaptability is no match for our superior technology. Proceed with contact." Zix hesitated. "There's more, Admiral. Their entertainment media. It's disturbing. They seem to revel in scenarios of alien invasions, often depicting themselves as victorious against overwhelming odds." "Fiction, Commander, nothing more. Perhaps, but it speaks to a certain preparedness in their collective psyche. And there's something else." Zix paused, unsure how to express his growing unease. They're constantly at war with themselves. Their history is a tapestry of conflicts, yet they've never annihilated themselves. They emerge from each war more advanced, more resilient. Vexura's holographic form loomed larger. Your point, Commander. I believe we should exercise caution. These humans, they're not like other species we've encountered. The Grand Admiral's eyes narrowed. Your concerns are noted, Commander. Now, carry out your orders. Initiate contact. As Vexura's hologram faded, Zix turned to his crew. Prepare the transmission. Let's hope these humans are in a peaceful mood. In the bustling United Nations headquarters in New York, alarms blared. Secretary General Dr. Amelia Chen rushed into the emergency session, her face a mask of controlled calm. Ladies and gentlemen, she addressed the assembled world leaders. At 300 hours GMT, we received a transmission from the moon. She paused, letting the implications sink in. We are not alone, and our visitors are requesting to speak with Earth's leaders. The chamber erupted into chaos. Amidst the uproar, U.S. President Gabriel Torres stood. Dr. Chen, what exactly do these aliens want? Chen's expression hardened. They claim to represent something called the Zolaxian Empire. They're offering us a choice, peaceful submission to their rule, or she didn't need to finish the sentence. In the stunned silence that followed, an unexpected voice spoke up. Well, I guess all those sci-fi movies weren't so far-fetched after all. Heads turned to the speaker, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, Japan's leading xenobiologist and a key figure in the long-running SETI program. Dr. Tanaka, Chen asked, you've spent your career preparing for this moment. What's your assessment? Tanaka stood, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of excitement and determination. Madam Secretary, esteemed colleagues, we've been handed both our greatest challenge and our greatest opportunity. These Zolaxians clearly underestimate us. They're expecting an easy conquest. I say we show them exactly why Earth has remained free all these millennia. President Torres leaned forward. What are you suggesting, Doctor? A two-pronged approach. First, we engage them diplomatically. Buy time. Meanwhile, we activate the Safeguard Protocol. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Safeguard Protocol was a closely guarded secret, a global initiative born from the paranoia of the Cold War, designed to protect Earth from extraterrestrial threats. Chen nodded gravely. Agreed. President Torres, as per the protocol, the United States will take point on this. Are you prepared to face these aliens? Torres stood, her posture radiating resolve. I am, and I know just the team to bring with me. Aboard the inevitable Victory, Grand Admiral Vexura received Commander Zix's report with growing irritation. What do you mean, they want to negotiate? The terms were simple, submit or face annihilation. Zix's hologram flickered nervously. The human leader, one President Torres, insists on a face-to-face meeting. She's requesting permission to board our vessel with a small delegation. Vexura's tentacles curled in amusement. How quaint. They think they're in a position to make requests. She pondered for a moment. Very well. Let them come. Perhaps seeing our might up close will make them reconsider their foolish defiance. As the hologram faded, Vexura turned to her war council. Prepare for our guests, and ready the invasion fleet. One way or another, Earth will be ours by the end of their solar cycle. Back on Earth, in a secret facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, President Torres addressed an elite team. Dr. Tanaka, Colonel Sarah Harper, Dr. Kwesi Okoro, and Agent Maria Vasquez, you've been chosen for the most important mission in human history. We're going to meet these Zolaxians, but not as supplicants. We're going to show them exactly who they're dealing with. Colonel Harper, a decorated veteran of multiple conflicts, stepped forward. Madam President, with all due respect, how do we stand a chance against an interstellar empire? Torres smiled grimly. The same way humanity has always survived, Colonel. With courage, ingenuity, and a few tricks up our sleeves. Dr. Okoro, tell them about Project Aegis. Dr. Okoro, a brilliant physicist with a mischievous glint in his eye, activated a holographic display. Ladies and gentlemen, while the world watched cat videos, we've been busy. Behold, the fruits of reverse-engineered alien tech from Roswell. As the team marveled at the advanced technology before them, Taurus's voice cut through their awe. Remember, our primary goal is diplomacy. But if these Zolaxians want to fight, her eyes hardened, we'll give them one they'll never forget. As the team prepared for their cosmic encounter, the fate of Earth hung in the balance. The Zolaxians were about to learn that appearances can be deceiving and that underestimating humanity was the biggest mistake they could ever make. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of the galaxy. Humanity, long hidden and thought defenseless, was about to bare its teeth. Human ingenuity unleashed. The sleek human shuttle, a marvel of reverse-engineered technology, glided silently through the vacuum of space towards the imposing Zolaxian dreadnought. Inside, President Torres and her team sat in tense silence, each lost in their own thoughts about the monumental task ahead. Dr. Tanaka broke the silence, his eyes fixed on the approaching alien vessel. It's remarkable. Their ship design suggests a civilization at least 1,000 years ahead of us technologically. Colonel Harper's hand instinctively tightened on her concealed weapon. Technology isn't everything, Doctor. History's full of advanced civilizations falling to primitive opponents. Exactly, President Torres nodded. And that's what we're counting on. Remember the plan. Dr. Okoro, is Project Aegis ready? The physicist patted a small, inconspicuous device on his wrist. Ready and undetectable, Madam President. The Zolaxians won't know what hit them, if it comes to that. As their shuttle entered the dreadnought's docking bay, the team steeled themselves. The moment of truth had arrived. Grand Admiral Vexera watched the human delegation disembark, her 6 eyes narrowing in curiosity. These creatures were smaller than she'd expected, softer looking. How had they survived on such a hostile world? Welcome aboard the inevitable victory. Vexera's translator conveyed her words in English. I am Grand Admiral Vexera of the Zolaxian Empire. I trust you're here to discuss the terms of your planet's surrender. President Torres stepped forward, her posture radiating quiet strength. Grand Admiral, I'm President Gabriel Torres of the United Earth Alliance. We're here to negotiate, not surrender. Vexera's mandibles clicked in amusement. Negotiate. My dear, I'm afraid you misunderstand your position. We are offering you a great honor, to join our glorious empire as a protectorate. The alternative is less pleasant. Dr. Tanaka spoke up, his scientific curiosity overcoming his apprehension. Admiral Vexera, surely a civilization as advanced as yours sees the value in peaceful coexistence. There's so much we could learn from each other. Learn? Vexera laughed, a harsh, clicking sound. What could we possibly learn from a species that hasn't even left its own solar system? Colonel Harper's eyes flashed dangerously, but Torres placed a calming hand on her arm. Perhaps a tour of your magnificent vessel might enlighten us both, the President suggested smoothly. We could discuss matters further, and you could demonstrate your technological superiority. Vexera considered for a moment, her tentacles writhing in thought. Finally, she nodded. Very well. A brief tour, then we'll return to the matter at hand. Your inevitable submission. As the group moved through the ship, Dr. Okoro's eyes darted everywhere, taking in every detail. His wrist device hummed almost imperceptibly, gathering data on the Zolaxian technology. Meanwhile, Agent Vasquez, silent and observant, mapped every corridor and potential escape route. The tour culminated in the ship's engine room, a cavernous space humming with energy. Vexera gestured proudly at the pulsing core of the faster-than-light drive. Behold the power that allows us to traverse the galaxy at will, something your species can only dream of. Dr. Okoro stepped forward, his eyes wide with faint awe. Fascinating. And how do you manage the quantum fluctuations in the drive's matrix? Vexura blinked, taken aback. You understand our technology. Understand? Hardly. Okoro laughed disarmingly. But we're not as primitive as you might think. In fact, he glanced at Torres, who gave an almost imperceptible nod. We have a little surprise for you. Before Vexura could react, Okoro activated his wrist device. A pulse of energy rippled through the ship, and suddenly every system went dark. Emergency lights flickered on, bathing the engine room in an eerie glow. What have you done? Vexura roared, her translator glitching and failing. Torres stepped forward, her voice steady. We've leveled the playing field, Admiral. That pulse just knocked out every piece of advanced tech on this ship. Now, shall we negotiate as equals? Chaos erupted. Zelexian crew members scrambled to restore power, while Vexura's guards moved to surround the human delegation. But they had underestimated their opponents. Colonel Harper sprang into action, her combat training evident as she disarmed 2 guards with swift, efficient movements. Agent Vasquez seemed to materialize from the shadows, taking down 3 more with pinpoint strikes to vulnerable spots on their exoskeletons. Dr. Tanaka and Dr. Okoro worked in tandem, the xenobiologist's knowledge of alien physiology guiding the physicists' improvised use of equipment as makeshift weapons. President Torres stood in the center of the storm, projecting an aura of calm authority. Enough. Torres's voice cut through the chaos. Admiral Vexura, call off your guards. This doesn't have to end in violence. Vexura, her mighty ship crippled and her guards outmatched, stared at the human leader in disbelief. How? How is this possible? Torres's expression softened slightly. We've had to be creative to survive on our death world. Admiral, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our adaptability, our ingenuity, and our determination. You've made your point. Vexura conceded, her voice a mixture of anger and grudging respect. What are your terms? As Torres began to outline a proposal for peaceful coexistence and cultural exchange, a new understanding dawned on the Zelaxian admiral. These humans were unlike any species the Empire had encountered before. They were dangerous not because of advanced weapons or impenetrable shields, but because of their indomitable spirit and their ability to turn any situation to their advantage. For the first time in her long career of conquests, Grand Admiral Vexura felt a flicker of doubt. The Zelaxian Empire had come expecting an easy victory, but instead they had awakened a sleeping giant. As negotiations continued, one thing became crystal clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. The tables turn. As the negotiations aboard the powerless Zelaxian dreadnought stretched into their 6th hour, the balance of power in the galaxy was shifting in ways none could have predicted. On Earth, the activation of Project Aegis had set in motion a chain of events that would reshape humanity's place among the stars. In the depths of the Cheyenne Mountain complex, General Elena Rodriguez stood before a bank of holographic displays, each showing a different aspect of Earth's rapidly evolving defenses. "Status report," she barked. A young lieutenant snapped to attention. "Ma'am, Project Aegis is at 87% deployment. The reverse-engineered shield technology is now covering 60% of major population centers. Our stealth satellites have mapped 90% of the Zelaxian fleet's positions." Rodriguez nodded, her face grim but determined. "And the Lazarus Protocol." The lieutenant's voice dropped to a near whisper. "Online and ready, General. Though we hope it won't come to that." "As do we all, Lieutenant. As do we all." Back on the Zelaxian ship, President Torres and her team had managed to turn the tables on their would-be conquerors. With the ship's advanced systems still offline, thanks to Dr. Okoro's electromagnetic pulse device, the humans found themselves in an unexpectedly advantageous position. "Let me be clear, Admiral Vexura," Torres said, her voice firm but not unkind. "Earth has no interest in conflict. We're explorers, scientists, dreamers. But make no mistake, We will defend ourselves with everything we have. Vexora, her earlier bravado deflated, regarded the human leader with a mixture of frustration and curiosity. You speak of peace, yet you've effectively taken my ship hostage. How do you reconcile this? Dr. Tanaka stepped forward. Admiral, in our long and often violent history, we've learned that true peace can only be achieved from a position of mutual respect and strength. We disabled your ship not to harm you, but to create an opportunity for genuine dialogue. Colonel Harper, ever vigilant, added, and to demonstrate that technological superiority doesn't always guarantee victory. Adaptability, creativity, and the will to survive can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Vexora's tentacles writhed in agitation. And what of my fleet? Surely you don't think this single act of sabotage will protect your world from the might of the Zalaxian Empire? A small smile played on Torres's lips. About that, Dr. Okoro, would you care to explain? The physicist grinned, tapping his wrist device. A holographic display sprang to life, showing the Earth surrounded by a shimmering, translucent barrier. While we've been chatting, Admiral, Earth has been busy. That little pulse we used on your ship, it was also a signal. Right now, a planetary defense shield is coming online. A little gift from some of your Empire's previous acquisitions. Vexora's 6 eyes widened in shock. Impossible. No primitive world could deploy such technology so quickly. Agent Vasquez finished, speaking for the first time. You'd be surprised what humans can accomplish when united against a common threat. We've had contingency plans in place for decades, just waiting for the right catalyst. The Zalaxian Admiral slumped in her command chair, the full weight of her miscalculation crashing down upon her. So this is how it ends. The mighty Zalaxian Empire, humbled by a species we thought defenseless. President Torres approached Vexora, her expression softening. It doesn't have to end, Admiral. This could be a new beginning for both our peoples. Vexora looked up, confusion evident in her alien features. You would offer peace after we came to conquer you. Torres nodded. As I said, we're explorers at heart. We see this as an opportunity, not just a crisis. Your people have technology and knowledge we can only dream of. We have a creativity and adaptability that seems to have surprised you. Imagine what we could accomplish together. For a long moment, silence reigned on the bridge of the inevitable victory. Then, slowly, Vexora extended a tentacle towards Torres. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words, President Torres. But my superiors, the High Council, will listen to reason. Torres finished, grasping the tentacle in a handshake that would go down in galactic history, especially when presented with the alternative. Now, shall we discuss the terms of the mutually beneficial alliance? As the human delegation and the Zalaxian command staff began to hammer out the details of a peace treaty, news of the confrontation and its unexpected resolution began to spread throughout the Zalaxian fleet and back to their homeworld. On Earth, crowds gathered in streets and squares, their eyes turned to the skies. The truth of humanity's place in the universe had been revealed, and with it came a surge of unity and purpose unlike anything in recorded history. In the Cheyenne Mountain complex, General Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile as reports flooded in from around the globe. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged not just victorious, but poised on the brink of a new era of galactic cooperation. As the first day of Earth's new interstellar age drew to a close, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. The species that everyone had dismissed as defenseless had proven to be the most formidable force the cosmos had seen in millennia. And this was only the beginning. A new galactic order. One Earth year after the historic first contact between humanity and the Zalaxian Empire, the Sol system had become a hub of interstellar activity. The once quiet space around Earth now bustled with ships of various alien designs, a testament to the rapidly changing galactic political landscape. At the newly constructed United Earth Spaceport, a monumental structure orbiting the planet, President Gabriel Torres stood before a diverse assembly of human and alien dignitaries. The occasion, the inaugural summit of the Galactic Cooperative, a new interstellar alliance born from the ashes of conflict. Friends, allies, sentients of all species, Torres began, her voice carried across light years by advanced communication tech, a fusion of human ingenuity and alien knowledge. A year ago, we stood on the brink of war. Today, we stand united, ready to forge a future brighter than any single civilization could achieve alone. Among the attendees, Grand Admiral Vexora, now serving as the Zalaxian ambassador to Earth, listened intently, her once aggressive posture now relaxed and open. Beside her sat representatives from a dozen alien races, some former subjects of the Zalaxian Empire, others longtime neutral observers of galactic affairs. As Torres continued her speech, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka leaned towards Colonel Sarah Harper, whispering, "Did you ever imagine we'd be here a year ago?" Harper smirked, her eyes scanning the crowd out of habit. "Honestly, I was prepared for a long, grueling war. This is beyond my wildest dreams." Across the chamber, Dr. Kwesi Okoro was deep in animated discussion with a group of alien scientists, his hands moving excitedly as he explained the latest breakthrough in human Zalaxian hybrid technology. By combining our quantum entanglement theories with Zalaxian faster-than-light principles, we're on the verge of instantaneous galaxy-wide communication. Meanwhile, Agent Maria Vasquez, now head of the newly formed Interstellar Security Agency, kept a watchful eye on the proceedings. The peace was still fragile, and not all parties in the galaxy were happy with Earth's sudden rise to prominence. As the summit progressed, it became clear that humanity's impact on galactic affairs went far beyond military or technological concerns. Earth's cultures, philosophies, and arts had sparked a renaissance across known space. Alien visitors flocked to experience human music, cuisine, and entertainment, while human adaptations of alien cultural practices were reshaping societies across the stars. In a quiet moment during a recess, Vexora approached Torres. "Madam President," the Zalaxian began, her translator conveying a tone of respect and a hint of lingering bewilderment. "I must confess, I'm still trying to understand how your species managed to turn a potential conquest into this." She gestured at the diverse gathering around them. Torres smiled. "Ambassador Vexora, humanity has always thrived at the edge of disaster. Our history is filled with moments where our backs were against the wall, and those moments forced us to innovate, to adapt, to find strength we didn't know we had." She continued, her voice taking on a more reflective tone. "But perhaps our greatest strength is our ability to forgive, to see potential allies in former enemies. We've learned, through centuries of conflict and reconciliation on our own world, that lasting peace comes not from domination, but from mutual understanding and cooperation." Vexora's tentacles rippled in what Torres had come to recognize as a gesture of deep thought. "You've given the galaxy much to ponder, Madam President. The Zalaxian Empire has stood for millennia. But in just 1 year, our entire way of thinking has been challenged and changed." As the summit reconvened, the delegates turned their attention to the challenges ahead. Plans were laid for joint scientific missions to unexplored regions of the galaxy, cultural exchange programs were established, and frameworks for interstellar law and commerce were debated. But even as the Galactic Cooperative took its first steps, new questions loomed on the horizon. How would humanity's rapid ascension to galactic prominence affect the delicate balance of power among older spacefaring civilizations? What unknown threats might lurk in the unexplored depths of the cosmos? And how would Earth's own societies and cultures evolve as they became increasingly integrated with alien influences? As the historic summit drew to a close, President Torres found a quiet moment to gaze out at the star-studded expanse visible from the spaceport's observation deck. Earth gleamed below, a blue jewel wrapped in the shimmering embrace of its planetary shield, a reminder of how close they had come to annihilation and how far they had come since. Penny for your thoughts, Madam President. Dr. Tanaka's voice broke through her reverie. Tori's turned, a mix of pride and determination in her eyes. I was just thinking. Hiroshi, we've come so far, but our journey is only beginning. The stars are no longer out of reach, but with this new frontier comes new responsibilities, new challenges. Tanaka nodded, his gaze joining hers in contemplating the vastness of space. Indeed. But if this past year has taught us anything, it's that humanity is capable of rising to any challenge. We are no longer the defenseless world everyone thought we were. We are explorers, diplomats, innovators, and guardians of a new galactic order. As they stood there, watching ships of myriad designs glide past the spaceport, the future stretched out before them, vast, unknown, and filled with limitless possibilities. Earth, once thought to be an easy target for conquest, had instead become a beacon of hope and unity for the entire galaxy. The legend of the planet everyone thought was defenseless, but no one dared to attack had spread across the stars. And in the grand tapestry of cosmic history, a new chapter was just beginning, one in which humanity would play a central role in shaping the destiny of the galaxy. As night fell on Earth, billions of humans looked up at the stars with new eyes, knowing that they were no longer alone, no longer isolated, but part of a greater cosmic community. And in distant corners of the galaxy, countless alien beings did the same, their perceptions forever changed by the indomitable spirit of a species that had turned potential conquest into a new age of galactic cooperation. The universe, vast and mysterious, awaited, and humanity, once hidden and misunderstood, was ready to meet it head-on.